everybody, it's your girl Jamie Drew with the girlfriendexperience.org, and I am here today for class number 4 of the Girlfriend Experience Classroom. Now, I have labeled this the Phoenix course. All right, y'all, I've labeled this the Phoenix course because if you don't know about the mythical bird, the Phoenix, it is a great, majestic bird that bursts into flames and then is reborn out of its own ashes, okay? So that is a testament to the strength of, somebody using that archetype. So if you feel like you are a phoenix, or if you feel like you just need to be reborn, if you're in a space where you need to level up in life, this is where you need to come to the Girlfriend Experience Classroom. Now, I've talked about this before, that the name, the Girlfriend Experience, means so much to me because I really want us to connect together. And when you are in the mindset that you feel like, one of the things that always moved me when I was younger is if somebody was doing something that I wanted to do or accomplished a feat that I wanted to accomplish, I would always try to compare myself to that person and say, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And that was my motivation. So the Girlfriend Experience is similar to that in that, you see a person who is inspiring and motivating you, you see them in the same light as yourself. It's so important to be able to have images of yourself in front of you who you can believe in and who you can be inspired by to say, you know what? That person is doing it. I come from a similar background. That person looks like me. I know that I can do it too. So it's really important for me to come in here and give you these classes for free every single Thursday night and every single Tuesday night and Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come and join me live here on YouTube, okay, at the Girlfriend Experience LLC. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, okay, because if you're watching me and you haven't subscribed, then you know you're wrong. Okay, and hit the like button to send this video out. You know how the algorithms go with these social media platforms. You hit the like button or you hit the don't like button. As long as you give me some activity, some feedback, give me some comments, let me know what your questions are, and hit that subscription bell if you want to be notified every single time I made a new video. I know I talked to somebody last night that said that they weren't notified about my video and they were subscribed. You gotta hit that bell. So everybody, let's get this channel to at least 1,000 followers and beyond so we can spread this message. Okay, so today's class, we are going to be focusing on leveling up your finances. Now, this is very important for everybody. This is very important for the broke person, and it's also very important for the person who's not broke. This is one of the main reasons that people get divorced over financial problems. This is one of the main reasons why people end up in life situations that they don't want to be in. They end up in relationships that they don't want to be in. They end up living in houses and apartments that they don't want to be in, neighborhoods that they don't want to be in, looking like they don't want to look, because they can't afford the lifestyle that they desire to have. So it's super important, okay, to get those finances in order, okay, which is why I felt it was so important to do this class today. We've been talking a lot about preparation. If you want a new life, if you want something different for yourself, if you want to level up, if you want to be rich, okay, if you want to be abundant, then you have to prepare yourself. You have to step into the shoes of that future person that you are, okay? You cannot separate yourself from that person that you want to be. You have to know and claim and own that you are that person and step into the shoes of that person, which is you, okay? Don't forget, so that you are ready, you are there, you are living the life. And so if you don't know how to budget your finances, if you don't know how to spend your money, then you're gonna go broke real quick. Okay, once you do get the money. And if you do have money, and if you don't have money already, then you're already in a struggling. Like I like to say, struggling and juggling, okay? Because you know, you be juggling those bills, okay? And trying to figure out, okay, which one am I going to pay this month and which one can wait, okay? So what I'm going to give you here today, this jewel that I'm about to drop on you, is a big time jewel. It will get you out of those overdraft situations, you know, getting that little square in the mail where you rip it over like, what is this from my bank? And they're like, oh, just letting you know, I'm charging you an overdraft fee. Okay? Stop getting those in the mail. Stop getting those emails that say that your account has been overdrawn. Stop getting your electricity turned off, even though I know, you know, it's a pandemic right now, so nobody's getting their stuff turned off. But you know if I'm talking to you, okay? If you have had your utilities turned off, if you have had a notice on your door, if your kid asked you for pizza and you can't afford it, then you feel me, okay? You need this class right here, right now. So grab yourself a seat. Get yourself some water. Let's stay hydrated, okay? And let's do this. I actually am having oral surgery tomorrow. I have to have one of these wisdom teeth pulled out. And so I am struggling right now, but y'all gonna struggle with me, and we're gonna do this together. We're gonna push past the pain and accomplish our goals, okay? Short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. That's what we're here to do. So get all your tools, get your pen and paper ready, because I'm really about to break this down in depth with you. We have 1 hour to take care of this, for you to get this together. So let's jump right into it. Okay. Anytime you have a problem that you want to take care of, you cannot take care of a problem that you don't look at. So step number 1 is to really look and really see your finances, okay? What I mean by that is you are going to have to print out your bank statement. You're going to have to actually look at it. I know it's going to hurt, but you're going to have to actually print it out and take a look at what is there so you can see what you've been spending, okay? So you can either print out your bank statement if you like to have, you know, a piece of paper in hand and need to look over things and maybe highlight things and cross things out and things like that. If you're a digital person and you're okay with using your online app and just jotting down some notes or whatever, but either way, you're gonna have to go into your current bank account or however many bank accounts that you have, and you're going to have to look at your spending habits. I recommend you do this for at least 60 days back. 90 days would be even better, okay? Let me just show y'all just a glimpse, okay? I'm not showing y'all all my business. Let me hold it way back here. But this is what I do bi-weekly, okay? So you have to get some sort of regiment together to be able to get your budget in order, okay? Now I know for some of y'all, this is boring, okay? This is the worst part. But if you want to have an awesome life, if you want to have a stress-free life where you're not struggling and juggling, then this is what you're going to have to do, okay? So that's step 1. Once you print out your bank statements from the last 3 months or look at it online, you will be able to see what your transactions have been, okay? Now, if you're a cash person and you don't have a bank account, then honey, I'm telling you, you need to go and get a bank account, because you're not going to be able to do this if you're living in the age of the Flintstones and you ain't got no bank account, okay? You need to get a bank account, because the only other way to do this budgeting is with several different envelopes. This envelope is for bills. This envelope is for, you know, pizzas. You know, we're not living in the Flintstone age, okay? As you can see, everything is technology now. So this is a way for you to be able to see your finances. So like I was saying, go ahead and open up your bank account and look at that thing. And start writing everything down so that you can see the patterns. Now, this is one thing that's a big deal for you to remember. Everybody thinks that bills are just bills, okay? But bills are everything. Bills are whatever you pay for on a regular, periodic basis. That's right, everything that you pay for on a regular, periodic basis. This means gas is a bill. Your nails, that's a bill. What else? Groceries, okay, that's a bill. We got the obvious things like, your mortgage or your rent, your water bill, sewer bill, your electricity bill. Those are the normal things, okay? You also have your car payment, okay, your insurance, okay, lucky you if you don't have a car payment, but your car payment, your insurance, things like that. These are the things that people normally think of as bills, the ones that come to them in the mail every month. But you gotta count things, like I said, like your nails, your hair, anything that you get regularly. You might even want to map out your toiletries, that you get all the time. And, you ladies, your menstrual cycle comes every month. You have to get pads and toiletries every single month. Okay, well, honey, that's a bill. I don't care if it's $5, $10. If you're paying for the internet every month, that is a bill. So what I'm telling you is to write every single thing down and write the cost next to it. Now, you're going to run into some things like maybe your electricity bill fluctuates, but most websites for your electricity bill will show you, the average of what your electricity bill is, or they'll show you what it's been. You'll be able to see the history over the past few months. Now, I hope I don't have to explain to grown folks how to calculate an average, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. In order to calculate an average, you're going to have to add all of the things up and then divide it by the number of items that you had to add up. So say, for instance, you print out your last 12 electricity bills. You say, I want to know what I've been paying over the last 12 months, okay? You are going to take that amount and you are going to add it all up, and then you're going to divide by 12 because you used 12 bills. That is how you're going to get the average of what you pay for that particular fluctuating bill, and you're going to write that dollar amount down as the average of what you're going to pay, because in order to get a hold on your money, you're going to have to know what it is you spend. Now, those of you who aren't on the budget billing program, okay, fine, you know what your electricity bill is going to be every single month. But for those of you who are not, you're going to have to go ahead and calculate that average, okay? So, like I was saying before, every single thing is a bill. Every single thing is a bill. So you're going to want to write all of these things down so that you understand what your monthly finances are in relation to what it is that you have coming in. Now, if you don't know how much income that you have coming in, you need to grow up a little bit, because every adult human being needs to know the average of their income. Even if your income fluctuates, you should have a grasp on how much money you're going to have. And if you don't, then you definitely need to be in this class and go ahead and do the same thing. Calculate the average of your income, or if you know your salary, or if you know what you're going to get every single 2 weeks, this is what you balance out. So far, you've printed out your bank statements, or you've looked at them online, okay? Then you've written down every single thing you have, okay? Your mortgage, water, sewer, your rent, your electricity, the internet, okay? Any subscriptions that you have, like if you have subscriptions to shoe services, things like that, your car payment, if you have bank fees, that's a bill. Gas is a bill. If you get your hair done, your kids get their hair done, haircuts, guys, that's a bill. Your groceries, okay? Ladies, if you're getting your nails done, or guys, if you're getting your nails done, okay? Your savings, okay? If you have decided that you were going to put a certain amount back in savings per month, then that's a bill too, okay? That is an obligation that you have to put somewhere else every so often, okay? It's a periodic regularity. your kids' phones, your cell phones, Netflix, if you have any credit cards or anything like that, if you have Spotify subscriptions, like I was talking about, Spotify, Hulu, Netflix, all of those subscriptions, if you have cable, things like that, okay? So write everything down. Business owners, this is especially important for you. You need to write that down as well. And I hope you have a separate bank account for that. So you're going to have to write every single thing down, okay? So that you understand. You can look at a piece of paper. You can add it all up and say, these are my monthly expenses. I know what is coming out of my account. I know what I'm obligated to pay every single month, okay? Now, if you're looking at your check amount and it's not lining up, if you have less, then you know there's a problem and maybe something needs to be cut. Maybe one of those subscriptions or something like that, okay? But now that you have everything lined up, now it's time to get everything organized. So now you've written down all of your bills. You know every single thing that you have. Now, you are going to want to make it easier on yourself, especially for the big bills. I definitely recommend this for your mortgage, okay? You may not want to do this for all your bills, but you're going to want to split up those large bills according to how you get paid. For example, if you get paid every 2 weeks and your mortgage or rent is due once a month, then you're going to want to split that amount in two when you write out your bills and do everything on a bi-weekly basis. What am I going to owe this particular paycheck? Okay? Because if you're pulling that large of a bill, your rent, your mortgage, out of one of your checks, for most of you, for the average American who is watching this video, you're going to be strapped for the next 2 weeks until it's payday again if you don't split it in two. So it's very important to go ahead and split that up every 2 weeks. And some companies are not going to allow you to pay it every 2 weeks, but that's okay because you can just set the money to the side, okay? And I'll get to that later about exactly how you can do that. But for now, let's go back over what we've done. You've printed out your bank statements for the last 90 days, or you looked through it online and you took notes. You saw how much you spend for gas. You saw how much you spend for groceries. You saw how much you spend on haircuts, okay? Toiletries. You looked at all your finances and you know every single thing that is coming out right now. So now you have made a huge, huge, huge step, okay? Now you're in a position to be empowered because you can't fix what you don't measure, what you can't see, okay? You cannot make corrections to something where you don't know the mistakes are, okay? So you've written every single thing down. Now, depending on how much you get paid, you're breaking that down into half and half, at least for the largest bills. So you know every 2 weeks, I get paid this, okay? Every 2 weeks, I'm gonna pay for this, or this is my financial obligation for this 2 week period because I have to pay this, and that, okay? So that's another step, that it's important to know what these due dates are on your bills so you will know, hey, I got paid on, let's use some dates. I got paid on June 26th. The next time I get paid is July 10th. So if I have a bill that's due July 9th, guess what? That has to come out of the June 26th money, okay? It cannot come out of the July 10th money because then you're going to be late. You need to be focusing ahead on what's due July 10th and on. If you get paid July 10th, you need to be focused on what's due there and on, not what was due backwards, because that's how you get those overdrafts, that's how you get those late fees, and that's how you mess up, okay? This one over here don't want to behave here. Okay, so break it up according to your pay periods, okay? Break it up into 2-week increments, because I know most of you get paid every 2 weeks. Okay, so go ahead and break those, like I said, especially mortgage or rent, into 2 halves, so you can go ahead and put that money away and you don't squander it, and you know every single thing that you've got. Now, time to get down to the nitty-gritty. Once you've written all your bills down and you know how much money is coming into your account versus how much money is going out of your account, now this is the time to make cuts and edits, okay? Let me grab some water here, y'all. Give me a moment. Okay, now that you have all your bills laid out, if you find yourself in the unfortunate position that you have more going out than you've got coming in, you know it's time to make some edits. Now, the easiest way, thank you for sharing. Thank you, Tamara. The easiest way, y'all made me lose, I made myself lose my train of thought. Okay, so we're talking about your finances making cuts. Okay, I'm back. All right, so the easiest things to cut from are those expenses that are not required. Okay, so you can't cut from your mortgage or your rent unless you move. Okay, so that's a bigger thing. I'm talking about the easiest things that you can slice and dice right now. Okay, so if you have a cable bill, you can cut off your cable. That might save you $150, $200 for some of you with that expensive cable bill. You can stop getting your nails done. Okay, you can start doing your nails at home. You also may notice when you look at this bank account, it's gonna really tell on you. Okay, you'll be able to see how many times you went to McDonald's or whatever fast food restaurant or Chick-fil-A or wherever it is that you go. You'll be able to see over and over again how many times you went to that fast food restaurant and just how much money you spent on that and how much money you could have spent in groceries, okay? So make sure you pay attention to your silent bills too, okay? Because that is something that ends up being a bill, but it's not actually a bill because you're sitting there eating fast food all the time instead of cooking when you could be resituating that money, putting that money somewhere else into another expense instead of getting your lights turned off. I'm sorry, but I'm talking to at least one of y'all when I say that. Okay, so you can make cuts on the luxuries. That's the first thing you need to do if you find yourself in the unfortunate situation that you have more going out than you have coming in, okay? So once you are done with the easy cuts, like your subscriptions, your luxuries, your nails, the fast food restaurants, things that you don't need, once you cut those items out, you'll be able to go back, redo the math, okay, of what you have going out and see if you have enough money in your bank account to be free, okay? If you still are in the position where you still don't have enough money, then you're gonna have to make some more cuts. Now, this is where you start chipping away at the big things, okay? So some of the big things might be your rent or mortgage, okay? If you are a homeowner and you cannot afford your mortgage, of course, you know there's a couple of options for you. You can refinance to see if you can get a lower rate, okay? If you have like an FHA loan and you have PMI, you can refinance perhaps to a conventional loan to shave off that PMI rate. Okay. Other options, you can rent your home out. Okay. Now, this isn't going to be ideal for everybody, but we're talking about buckling down and figuring out your finances. Okay. You can rent your home out. Okay. And collect the money off of that. Use that to help you pay what you need on your mortgage and go ahead and find yourself a rental that you can afford. Now, for the renters out there, if you are not a homeowner and you find yourself in a situation where you cannot afford your rent, then it's time for you to start thinking of options. Can I get a roommate? Is that an option for me? I don't know. I don't know if this is an option for you or not. Some people with kids may not want to do that. Okay. Some people that don't have kids may not want to do that. People in general sometimes don't want to have roommates that want to live on their own. So another option is to downsize. If you're a single person and you have a 2-bedroom apartment that you know you don't need, okay, downsize to a 1-bedroom. Or if you already have a 1-bedroom and you can't afford that, or you got a 2-bedroom and you've got to have a 2-bedroom because of your kids or because you've got multiple people or whatever the situation is, it's time to start special hopping. Look around for those specials, you know, the rentals or whatever, especially right now. A lot of people are running specials right now. A lot of apartment communities are running specials right now because they need those renters in during this time of crisis. So right now may be actually an ideal time to, you know, go ahead and find that special, to go ahead and find a cheaper rent that you have been looking for that can greatly help your finances. And I know you hear my birds chirping in the background. They're happy birds. They're just so happy. So they chirp a lot in the background. Okay. So we are making cuts, snip, 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 to our finances. Okay. Another one that you may not be aware of is restructuring, you know, the way that your current loans are paid out. Now, some of this may hurt you because it may extend your loan out a little bit longer than you wanted, but it's up to you. You're going to have to make those decisions about what's more important to you. So say, for instance, you have a car, and let's say you had a 5-year loan on your car and you're 4 years in, but you find yourself struggling to keep up with your payments. You, especially if you've been a good paying on-time customer, you can talk to your financial company, your car company, and see if they can stretch that 1 year remaining out back over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, who knows, whatever the company is willing to do, so that you can have some more flexibility in your everyday income. That's what this is about, getting some wiggle room back in your regular daily pocket, okay? And that could take you from having a car payment of maybe $400 to maybe $200 or maybe $150, okay? If you let them know, hey, I'm going through a hardship. Can you adjust this loan and spread it back out? And a lot of companies will be happy to do that for you, especially during this time of the coronavirus pandemic. You know, a lot of companies want to be flexible with their customers, okay? I hope you guys are writing this down. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments, and I promise that I will get some answers to you, okay? I will read your answers and reply to you, get you the answers as best I can. Let me know what's going through your head. Give me some feedback, okay? So we talked about slicing and dicing things from your responsibility, okay? Cutting out the bills that you don't need, shaving off those visits to Chick-fil-A, you know, just reducing those larger responsibilities, splitting things in two according to your pay schedule. And if you get paid every week, then hey, you split the things in 4 and you're able to control it that way, okay? Now, here is a tidbit that a lot of people don't know. We weren't all blessed to be able to have parents that knew about finances or that can teach you how to budget and things like that, or had a mentor or somebody around you, or maybe even a professor in class or something that will help you through budgeting and bills and different things like that. And so make sure you pass this knowledge down to somebody else, because some of you are really learning these things for the first time. And some of these things I was learning the first time and really had to learn them on my own, because, I had to find my way, the hard way. And I'm sure some of you have gone through or are going through that right now. And so make sure you share the love, share the knowledge with somebody else, share this video so that other people can understand that in order to get your life together, you really have to get your finances together. And it doesn't matter how much you're making, how much or how little that you're making, everything needs to be managed. Even if you scraping together crumbs, you need to wisely scrape together those crumbs, okay? So the first thing to getting your bills in order is to be able to live. I know some of you are working on credit issues and things like that, but that really takes a back seat to everyday living. And so that is the focus of being able to live and breathe every day so that you can come up with a plan to take care of any of those past due accounts. So this information I really learned just from, working with organizations over the years and balancing budgets and working with, multi-million-dollar budgets to be able to put things in place and understand the way that finances go and the way that people with large amounts of money really keep their finances in order, and the way that accounting departments and accountants keep this stuff separate. So there's something called GL codes, or general ledger codes. And all it is a bunch of numbers that are assigned to a particular bucket of money. I'll say that. So these businesses may say, well, this particular bucket of money is going to go for office supplies and office supplies only. This particular budget is going to go for rents and mortgages and things on the building, contracts for everything that we have only. This particular bucket of money is going to be spent on marketing and advertising only. So they have these different codes set up, or they have these different buckets of money set up so that they can know, they can control the spending, and they can know what is budgeting out, and they can predict what is going on in those big pockets. So now us, with our not as big, soon to be big pockets, we have to do the same exact thing. So you have to imagine everything as a category, okay? That you have different buckets of money, okay? Stay with me now, because I know this is a lot of information. You may have to watch this video back multiple times, but you can get this. Write this down. Have a friend help you. Watch the video back multiple times, but it's very important for you to get this, okay? Every person needs to have at least 3 bank accounts, okay? Every person needs to have at least 3 bank accounts, and then 1 for each child. So a lot of you out there, parents watching along, you're going to need at least 4 bank accounts, okay? Now, make sure you have your pen and paper, because this is how you're really gonna get your finances in order, okay? You need to have these 3 bank accounts plus 1 for each child, okay? And don't get intimidated by 1 for each child, because most banks will give you a free under 18 account for your child, and where you don't have to worry about putting minimum, spending amounts or minimum balances or anything like that. You can have this child account, okay, for your kids under 18. For your kids over 18, then they need to follow these rules too, okay? So let's now break down exactly what these 3 to 4 and more, depending on how many kids you have, bank accounts should be for, okay? The first bank account, we're going to consider that kind of like your main account, okay? This is the account where the bills come out, okay? So this is your main account. This is where your direct deposit goes. Your HR department should be able to split your direct deposit if you want your direct deposit to go to multiple places, okay? And a lot of banks will give you free second accounts, third accounts, and I do advise you to get your bank accounts at the same location so that if you have an app on your phone, you're able to see everything at a glance. You can see boom, 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 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, here's my accounts right here, all on this same app. So you can get multiple accounts with the same bank, and that is okay. Okay. I currently have 6 bank accounts with 2 banks. Okay. So this is what you need to have. Account number 1 is going to be for bills only. That is where you're going to drop the money from the bills that you have calculated, that you know this is life or death. Well, not really life or death, but make or break. Okay, that you have to pay these bills, and they have to be on time, and they have to be in your bank account. Okay, that is account number 1. Account number 2, I know you know I'm going to say it, you need a savings account, okay? You need to be able to drop money periodically every pay into, my parents, please don't kill me for telling people this, but you got to have oh shit money. That's what they always tell me. You gotta have oh shit money, okay? Some people like to call it rainy day funds, okay? But you gotta be able to pull from somewhere when you don't have any money, okay? So this is gonna be the money that you don't pinch off, that you don't really touch, okay? This is the money when you're like, ooh, I gotta pay that, or oh, this happened unexpectedly, or oh, that bill, I forgot about that, or, you know, something urgent, okay? That maybe only comes around once a year, or maybe it's periodically or unexpected or whatever. That's where you need to have that, okay? So, and then, you know, just saving for the larger items and kids' college fund. You can have as many bank accounts as you want, okay? I'm just telling you the minimum of what you need to have, okay? So, the bills account, the savings account. Then you need to have another account, which I like to call cash flow. You can call it a pleasure account. You can call it the do you boo account. You can call it whatever you want, but you need to have an account. This is the account that you buy the pizza from. This is the account that you get the new lipstick that you know you really don't need from. This is the account that you get the purse from that you know you don't need. Okay, this is the account where you try the new restaurant that you've been wanting to go to. This is the account where you splurge on some Amazon purchases, okay? But until these accounts are satisfied, you might not have anything in this account, okay? So if once these accounts are satisfied and you only got $19 left in this account until you get paid again for 2 weeks, well, guess what, honey? You're going to think long and hard before you order that $19 pizza. You can get one for $5.50 from Little Caesar. You might start thinking smarter when you only have $19 in your pleasure account, in your cash flow account. You're like, But here's the thing. It feels so good because it's like, oh, all my bills are paid. So you don't really feel broke. It's not as bad. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, all your bills are paid. You're like, listen, I got $19 left, but guess what? All my bills are paid. And if you're smart and you consider your nails a bill too, then you can have your nails paid for, and, you know, it's a bill, right? You know what I mean? So that's why I say count everything that's regular and periodic as bill, if that's something that you didn't have to cut. Okay, so let's go back to it. Let me get back on track. Bank account number 1 for the bills. Get those bills taken care of. Bank account number 2 for the savings. Put that money aside for a rainy day. Oh shit, money. Bank account number 3 is for pleasure spending. It's for the spending that doesn't count. It's for the spending that you don't have to do. It's for going to Sonic. It's for going to McDonald's. It's for going to Pizza Hut and Domino's. It's for going to Steak and Shake. Wherever you go, it's for going to get that ice cream, okay? It's for going to that restaurant. It's for doing all of the things that you don't have to do, but you've decided that you want to do. Okay, so having these 3 accounts and moving everything around is going to help you tremendously, because now you're going to make smarter decisions. Now you're going to think twice before you decide that, I'm going to spend this money because I only have $19 left for 2 weeks. How am I going to spread this? How am I going to make this happen? You will end up making better decisions once you start splitting those accounts. So that's why it's even better to have all of the accounts at one bank so that you can use your app and move the money around, because you're going to get the direct deposit into one account. Most likely, okay? Most of you will do it that way. Once you get the money into one account, you will be able to transfer with the click of a button, okay? And I do this every 2 weeks. It's very easy to do. You will be able to transfer your money around, okay? And use it as different buckets. And you can name it whatever you want, okay? So that's the 3 bank accounts. The 4th bank account is going to be for your child, okay? So this is where you help them learn how to be responsible, or allow them to go and get that pizza that they want. Or if they're at the store and they say, Mom, can I have a piece? Can I have a candy bar? Yeah, you bring your wallet. You sure can. You got some money? You know, this is where you can help them to earn allowance, or you can put their phone bill in and then they can re-up their minutes on it. That's what my son does. You know, I drop the money in his account. When it's time for his minutes, he goes in, boom, boom, boom. He uses his card. We're in the store. He wants something. I'm like, did you bring your wallet? Of course, he always says, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Forgot to bring his wallet all the time. You know, kids. So, but it's important to have that account. And to establish that level of responsibility with your child and have them understand what it's like to have to make those financial decisions, because that's why they're digging in your pockets all the time. They don't understand, like, every withdrawal means something. Every time you ask, can I have a piece? Can I have a piece of this? Can I have a piece of that? Every withdrawal means something, and they will start to make wiser decisions as well. If you say, well, sure, you have to use your money. I don't know why I keep going back to $19, but let's say they have $19 in their account. You say, sure, you can have that new game. It's $15. Download, okay, from your PlayStation. And you're going to have $4 left after that. Is that okay with you? You know what I'm saying? So then they can start to understand responsibility and start to understand what it's like to make decisions. Because I've had moments where my son would say, never mind, you know, that's okay. I don't need it that bad, because he knows, okay, this is all the money that I'm going to have left over in my bank account if I make that financial decision. And just like kids, sometimes we adults do the same things, and we have to discipline ourselves to understand, you know, that it's important to really balance ourselves out and make these sacrifices so that we can get ourselves in this place where we can breathe, when we can have daily living and be able to have these funds in order and everything, okay? And so that's the only way to even get to the past due balances, is to get this in order and say, you know what? Instead of getting this pizza, I'm going to take $20 every pay. Now that's $40 a month. And I am going to, if you get paid every 2 weeks, $4 a month, I'm going to pay this past due bill that I've got, because this past due bill is only $275. So I know that I can get this paid off quickly if every 2 weeks I'm paying $20, $20, $20, $20, $20. And you might lose some weight. Okay, you might get the added benefit of losing some weight if you have to make that decision. Instead of getting that pizza, okay, take that money and do something else with it. You will start to see when you look at your bank account where you're spending your money and the things that you can cut back on. I remember being in situations where, and talking to people about situations saying, man, I spent $300 last month on food. Like, I don't even know where it went. You know, where I got pizza or I got fried chicken. I went to the fast food place 10 times last month. It's like you're doing these things blindly and swipe. You don't even realize, you don't even know until you start reconciling that bank account and you start to understand, you know, where it is that your money is going. You start to see how much money you actually do have, how much money is actually flowing through your hand that you weren't aware of. I remember a longtime friend of mine got on me and was saying that, you know, a lot of people complain about not having enough money, but the real problem is they don't know how to spend and take advantage of what they already have. And this was years ago, and I was like, whatever, you know, that's stuff that people that got money can say, whatever, you know. But I've come to realize, oh my goodness, I've come to realize that, baby, it's so true. It is so incredibly true. You do not know how much you weigh until you get on the scale. And likewise, you do not know how much money you actually have in your account and how much money you're using until you look at what you're spending. Okay? So I'm here to tell you, and let me hold this back because I don't want y'all to see my bills and things, but I am living by example. Okay? Write your stuff down. Know those due dates. Then, let me tell you, it takes the weight off of you. It takes the anxiety off of you to be able to sit back and relax until you know your next check comes in, because you've already done the budget for 2 weeks. Or if you do it ahead, you know when you get paid. You know when your pay dates are. And you know how much you're making. So go ahead and do it for a month out. So you will know, this is what I'm working with right now. It feels so good to not have to look at every single bill that comes in the mail. I have a mail bin, and I just, every single time the mail comes in, boop, I put it right in the mail bin. I don't even open it and look at it. Why? Because I've already accounted for the money that I'm working with right now. Okay? When it's time for that new bill, for that new income to come in, that new check to come in, that's when I do my next budgeting. If you get paid every 2 weeks, most of you get paid every 2 weeks, you only have to look at your bills once every 2 weeks. Because if you know your due dates, if you log into your online accounts and you make those payments and you check them off as you go along and you move your money over to the next account and say, this is where all the bills are coming from. I'm not even going to touch that card, because this is where the bills are coming from, okay? Or I'm only going to touch that card to get gas, because I've counted gas as a bill, and I know what I've been spending in gas every 3 months, and this is how much I have allotted in the bill account for this particular bill, okay? Same thing with your nails, same thing with your hairs, whatever it is, as long as it's a bill. Being able to know that what you've dropped in that account is already accounted for puts your mind at ease. You can rest, you can relax, knowing that you may only have $19 in your pleasure account, but baby, the lights are on and the air is on and all of your bills are taken care of, and you got food in the refrigerator. And if you've counted your nails as a bill, if you're smart, then your nails are done, your hair is done, and you can sit back and relax and know that you have taken care of your business, and now you have some extra money, okay, that you can put towards a bill. So if you get to a place, okay, and we're wrapping up here, If you get to a place where you see the next check coming in and you didn't spend everything from your pleasure account, now you've got a choice to make. You can either live it up and go ahead and splurge and spend the rest of that money, or you can put it on a bill. Put it on a bill that needs to be paid because you've earned it. You've held on to that money and you've not spent it on bull, okay? You can put it on a bill. Or you can drop it into your savings account. Now you have that much more rainy day money, oh shit money, okay, in that account because you've earned the right to transfer it over and put it there because you did not use it from your bill account, from your pleasure account, okay? So let's wrap this up. Let's go back over this again because this is so important that you get this, that you absorb this. You know, I want you to hear this, okay? Every person needs to be able to look at their finances if they want to fix their finances. Step number one, if you are with me, is to print out the last 90 days of your bank account or look at it at on your online account and write those notes so that you can know what you have spent every single month. What are your regular bills? How much have you spent on gas? How much have you spent on groceries? How much have you spent on toilet paper, toiletries, whatever? How much have you spent on the internet, Hulu, Netflix, Spotify, YouTube Premium, whatever it is that you got, all your bills that you got, everything that you pay for, all those little pieces need to be written down. When you start to examine that, you will begin to know how many times you've been to Chick-fil-A, how many times you've been wasting money on fast food, or how many times you've been wasting food just buying frivolous things. You will be able to see that because you'll see it over and over on your bank statement, okay? Once you do that, you start making the edits, start making the cuts out of the things that you do not need, of the things that you don't serve you. Walk away from those things. Maybe you have to get rid of your cable, or maybe you can't have Netflix and Disney and Hulu. Maybe you have to pick one, okay? But some of these edits need to be made, okay? If you're finding that you don't have enough money to cover your bills. Okay, once you get that straight and you've made all your cuts, your small cuts, now you can look at your big cuts that you need to make. Do you need to move to a new home or rent another apartment because you just can't afford the one that you're in? This is where you make those tough decisions. I talked about short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. This is what you do. You have to sometimes lay down for a minute so that you can jump up and jump out the box. Take control of your life. Taking control of your life also means taking control of your finances, which is the most difficult and painful thing that some of us have to do. But if you want to level up, this is exactly what you need to look at, especially those of you in relationships, especially those of you in marriages, especially those of you who are living together. Finances are one of the number one reason, I think it may be the number one reason, okay, for divorce, okay, for financial strain, for strain on the relationship. It's time that you take a look at these things, okay? Doing that is going to open your eyes, okay? Then you're going to want to have multiple bank accounts. I advise you to get it at the same bank so that you can move your money around freely using your app, using the transfer feature of your online bank account. You're going to need a bills account, a savings account, a cash flow account or pleasure account, the account that you buy the pizzas and the purses from. You're going to need one account for each child, okay? Get a child account for each one of those kids. Teach them responsibility and just budget their money. Put their money there too, okay? Educate the whole family, okay? This is how you gain financial security. This is how you get to that point where you're able to say, I got $100 extra. I didn't even know I was getting that. Let me put it on this bill because I only got $100 left. But I didn't have any money to breathe, so I couldn't even pinch out $100 to pay for that. Or, now I have money to get that such and such I always wanted, or let me treat myself. You don't know how much money you have until you do this process, until you look. Okay? So those are the keys. That is everything that I wanted to tell you. Those bank accounts are so important to be able to drop your money into those buckets, to be able to separate, okay, those accounts, to be able to split your mortgage or your rent payment in half, to be able to look at your finances and to be able to put money to the side and have emergency money and know exactly how your days are going to be and that you're not going to have any mess ups on your finances and no overdraft fees. Because who wants to pay extra money on overdraft fees? Because that's not a part of the budget. Okay? So, thank you to everyone who has been here in this class. I appreciate you coming. Please be sure to drop your comments below. I would love to answer them. If you need a personal private session with me, if you need personal coaching, please head over to thegirlfriendexperience.org. Please share this video, okay? Subscribe to my channel, The Girlfriend Experience LLC. It's so important that you come and get this free knowledge. Subscribe to this channel, like the video, hit the notification bell so you can get notified every single time I make a video. Thank you again for watching. This has been the Girlfriend Experience Classroom, and until